What is going on, everyone? I want to discuss the Phillies today, and 2 points to be exact. One in regards to Matt Klentak and the statement that he had before the first game against the Mets. And I also want to look at the playoffs with the Phillies, because this is a interesting time to bring it up. We're in this funky mode, this funky mindset. So to bring up a question about the playoffs, I want to hear what you have to say right now on June 25th about the Phillies and the playoffs. So let's start off with Matt Klentak. We got so low. We got so low to the point where your GM had to come out and speak to the media in the dugout and have a press conference and then go on Phillies pregame live, not postgame live. He was on pregame live with Ricky Bo and Michael Barkan outside of the stadium there, and it just got to that point. It's crazy to think about. He reassured everything. He reassured, listen, I understand that this team didn't give their full hustle, and the realistic answer is not everyone gives 100% on every single play in baseball. That's reality. But when you're in a losing streak, it gets criticized and magnified to an elite degree. And he pretty much said, I understand that. And he's understanding that the fan base is upset and freaking out and screaming for heads because there was so much hype going into the season, and the Phillies were playing well enough for this implode of 7 games, for that 7-game losing streak to occur. He understands how brutal that it was, but he reassures Gabe Kapler is going to be safe for the rest of the year. He reassures the staff is going to be safe in regards to hitting coaches and pitching coaches and things like that. Everyone's safe. He's reassuring jobs. And the message was clear. And I wonder if the players are refreshed with a new voice. Because you hear Gabe Kapler after every loss, trying to bring positivity in there, trying to not crush players, but bring this vibe where we're going to be okay and we just got to execute better. I wonder if the fact that the GM came out there live on pregame live, had the press conference in the clubhouse or in the dugout, if that sparked the team and said, listen, our guys have our back. Our top guys, our front office guys, they have our back. So let's go out there and perform. And before that game, maybe it rallied them. Because game 1 of the Mets series, they crushed them. 19 hits, 13 runs. Now, the Mets and the Phillies play in about 4 hours, about 3.5 hours as I'm recording this now. So we'll see how game 2 goes. But I wonder, what do you think about this? What do you think of the GM coming out there, reassuring everything, saying he understands, he knows that the fan base is upset, but we got to stick true to what got us here? 2 weeks ago, before this brutal 7-game stretch that we had, everything was fine. And everyone was doing a good enough job. You lose 7 in a row in a tough moment there, and now all of a sudden no one can get the job done. He's reassuring that the people we have in place are good enough. We need to find the way to groove out of this thing, to find rhythm and find some groove and get out of the slump. What do you think about Matt Klentak's statement coming out, putting his hands up and say, it's been brutal, and I'm accepting that. We're going to be fine. Let's rock and roll. Now, the playoffs. The playoffs. Right now, on this date, we snapped the 7-game losing streak. We played tonight, but we snapped the 7-game losing streak. We looked good. The offense looked great. We were rocking and rolling last night. We were raking. Do the Phillies make the playoffs? Do the Phillies make the playoffs? Now you have to look at where we are in regards to the Braves, and are we going to win the division? Okay, well, if not, because originally I thought the Phillies were better than the Braves, but as the season went on here, I'm starting to realize that Braves lineup is something special. I don't know if we are. So, will we make the wild card? If you don't think so, where do you have the Phillies right now when we are 40-38 and 1 win out of that 7-game losing streak? I find this to be an interesting time to ask the question because of everything that happened. Are you throwing it away? Are you throwing the playoffs away? It's not out of the question to say that we can still realistically plenty of time to win the division, but if you don't think so, win the wild card is not an unrealistic thing to say. But I can also ask the question. I know lots of questions here today, but we're going to interact. I want to know everyone's thoughts in the comment section. If we are to get to the wild card game and we fall in the wild card game, is that a success? Because originally all I said was make the playoffs. I don't care how, make the playoffs. And I got ripped. We have the best lineup in baseball. How are you not saying we're going to the World Series? Make the playoffs. I would be disappointed if we got to the wild card game and lost. Absolutely. It would hurt. I'd be devastated. But making the playoffs is big. When you look at the big picture on what this team has, we know that there's flaws. We know that there's holes. Can we still make the wild card? Yes. Do I think we're going to make the playoffs? Yes. That's my answer. Yes, I do. I still do believe we are going to make the playoffs. And if we get there and we fall, I'll be crushed in that wild card game. But I know that there's still holes. I know that there's still flaws. I know Aaron Nola hasn't been Aaron Nola. Who would you even throw on the bump on that game? Would it be Zach Eflin? Now, of course, there's plenty of time for things to change. There's deadline moves that are going to occur, but we're not going to be the only team to make deadline moves. The other teams that are making pushes as well are going to make moves. So it's going to be a big jumble. So the teams are going to look differently at the end of the day, and I understand that. But I'm just trying to have some fun here right now on a day where we finally snapped the skid and we feel a little bit better about the Phillies clubhouse right now. Do you think we're going to make the playoffs? And if you do, wild card, or do you think we're actually going to still win the division? Would you be disappointed if it is the wild card and we lose? All around, this is an interaction video, if you will. I want to interact with everyone and read the comments. But I'm excited. I'm excited for Game 2 tonight against the Mets. It's going to be funny if we do end up losing, how much different the narrative changes than if we were to win and be on a 2-game win streak and have some confidence. It's just like that. The moods changed. Just like that, the moods changed. And that's just reality on where we are with this ball club right now. A very emotional team. You're riding the ups, you're riding the downs. A lot of people say, oh, it's baseball and they just don't have it, and that's why we're not invested in this team. It's because it's baseball, it's the slow sport, and they don't have it. It's like baseball is getting ripped on all of a sudden. It's a weird vibe right now with the city. You have the people that watched all last year, realized what they were, found this new lineup this year, and fully invested and engaged. Then you have the people that think, well, it's a nice piece. We have a better squad than last year, but we still don't have it. I'm not going to tune in. And then you have the anti-baseball people who just, the sport sucks, the sport's boring, how do you watch it every night? Are we a baseball town or are we not a baseball town? To me, this product is good enough to watch. I know they went through a really bad 7 games, but they're a good enough product to watch. They're giving you baseball that is worthy throughout the summer. And I know I just got sidetracked into where this team is in Philadelphia, but it's crazy to hear all the different scenarios you got when it comes to people. People don't care. People hate baseball, and then you have the diehards that are involved and love it to death and then watch every pitch like myself. And then you have the people who think the sport is boring and slow, but they know they have a better product than last year, but they don't think they're good enough, so they won't tune in at all. Too many games, the season's too long. Those people, I disagree, but okay. I'm all over the place with this, but I want to hear everyone's opinions. Matt Klentak coming out to the media yesterday was interesting to me. You're in a 7-game skid. You have a massive drop from first place up a couple games to down a bunch, and your GM has to tell the fan base to relax. He pretty much Aaron Rodgered us. He didn't spell out the word, but he pretty much did that to us and reassured that everything is going to be fine. The clubhouse, the atmosphere, it's okay. We just need to play our game, get back to what got us here, get back to winning 2 of 3 in not the prettiest fashion, but win 2 of 3 in every series and just play good baseball. Get back to that style baseball. He thinks we can do it, and he's telling us to relax. Do I think we make the playoffs? Absolutely. I still think we make the playoffs. I don't know how. I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't know if we're going to win a wild card game. I don't know if we're going to lose the wild card game. I don't know if we're going to get to even a chance to play a legit series in the playoffs. But I think we make it there. It's going to be a a grind. It's going to be an emotional grind. And isn't that why we love sports? The ups and downs, the heartbreak, the excitement. That's why we are sports fans. That's why we love this. You got to embrace it and take it out for a ride. And that's what I'm here to do. So let me know how you feel on these topics. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.